IELTS Writing Task, how to make comparisons. My name is Ben Worthington from IELTSPodcast.com and sentenceguide.com. This tutorial is going to be really brief and I'll get straight to it because making comparisons is an excellent way to boost your score and a very valuable skill. And I'll tell you why, because let's have a look at the official IDP criteria, and this is also the one the British Council use, and we can see here, it might be a little bit small, the text, and it reminds me of what my girlfriend said to me once. I mean, it's more related to glasses, wearing glasses, but it was quite funny, and I'll tell you at the end of the video. But let's see. So it uses a variety of complex structures, and if we're using structures like it's larger than, it's smaller than, or whereas in England production is mainly automated, blah blah blah, these are the structures that we need, and we need a variety of them. So learning this is going to add to your arsenal, or add to your bag of tricks that you can pull out when you're writing. Okay, now for the academic one, we want to show a clear overview of the main trends and differences. How do you mention differences? Well, you talk about the comparisons. Whereas production in 2017 was 300 tons, in 2020 it was much larger at 540 tons. Okay, so that's where we would use it in the academic. And also, we're going to use less common lexical items, and this is what the criteria states. Mixed up there. But what I'm saying is that by using these comparisons, we're going to show some of the style, and especially if we use the collocations, like on the one hand and on the other hand. Okay, so there's three solid reasons there. But before we go into that, let's have a look at the different collocations, different comparisons we can use to boost our score, and then I'll tell you about the funny story with my girlfriend and the glasses. So let's go. So then, when we're doing the writing task, obviously we need to know the meaning of each word, we need to understand the question, formulate our answer, express the answer in English, obviously, and make sure it's coherent and it's logical, i.e. it basically makes sense. So let's have a look at the two types of comparisons. First one, we're going to be comparing similar items, and the next one we're going to be comparing different items. So when we're using the similarities, when we're using these comparisons to express similarities in different degrees, we're going to be using the superlatives, okay? And especially, usually they'll be with the ER suffix, and it's going to be larger, stronger, higher, or more, less, better, worse. So an example, discrimination against women in economic, social and political aspects of society appears to be more severe in developing countries than it is in wealthier ones. So here we've just used and it's not the most advanced structure, but it is some variety there. There is some variety if we're mixing this in with other sentences. Okay, so we're also going to use comparisons when we're expressing similarities in different ways with two sentences. So let's see. So similarly, these are the phrases. We're going to be saying similarly, in like manner, in a similar pattern, in a similar way, or in the same manner. I'll give you an example. Books are a wealth of knowledge. Similarly, the internet is a learner's paradise. It just needs to be used purposefully, and moderately. So here we've got the short sentence, and it's linked with this one similarly, and perhaps we could link it together, but there's nothing wrong with a short sentence. We cannot use the short sentences too much, but one short sentence is fine because it just shows a little bit more variety, and that's how good native English speakers will write. They'll use a mixture of short sentences and long sentences. So Next part, comparing different items. So we can make a contrast with one sentence, and we'll probably use the phrases while, whereas, however, and these are really good structures to learn and to master, especially if you're doing the academic one, because like we said before, you want to be making comparisons, and the best way is while, whereas. By the way, do not use this in your academic task 1, however, or but. Okay, well, maybe probably less however, but definitely use the while and whereas, because however is more commonly used for different points of view. And in the academic task 1, there really isn't a point of view to be taken. It's supposed to be objective. And likewise with the on the other hand, we wouldn't use that in our academic task 1. So let's see. Adults deem play only as a fun, leisurely activity, whereas other side, another sort of like idea, children usually think of it as serious business. Now, in the sentenceguide.com, there is an academic course. This academic course is it has lots of chapters, and the main chapters are about selecting and choosing the information, but also, and there's a full tutorial on how to select and how to choose how to choose what information to include, and it makes it very easy. But there's also a chapter all about using these structures, because I insist that the students use these structures, because we're going to automatically use a different construction and pick up points, like I said before, and we're also going to be forced to make a comparison. So we're going to tick 2 boxes. We're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. So that would be these constructions on while and whereas. They're interchangeable, but here's another tip. If you've used whereas, maybe at the start of one of the paragraphs or in the middle of one of the paragraphs, in the next paragraph or in the next sentences, why not, you should use while, and this reduces repetition. Let's carry on. Comparing different items. So we can contrast with 2 sentences. The phrases that we'll use are in contrast to, compared with, from a different perspective, from a different point of view, on the other hand, on the contrary. Okay, and some of these we can use in academic task 1, and some of them we can strictly use in academic task 2, in IELTS writing task 2. And an example of this would be on the other hand. And likewise, similar to however, this is used for different points of opinion. More often than not, it's used for different points of opinion. Here's another tip. If we're using on the other hand, make sure we've used on the one hand first, okay, to balance it. So let's go. Dehydration can cause blurred vision, brain fog, and even high blood pressure. In contrast, being overhydrated causes an imbalance in one's electrolyte levels. So here we've compared different items. Now, just before we jump to the final part, let me tell you what my girlfriend said about the glasses. She said, Ben, I don't like how you look in these new glasses. And I said, well, I don't wear glasses. And she said, yeah, I know, but I do. Anyway, I won't explain it. I'll let you think it over. So just to remember, just a review. Use the comparisons. Practice them many times. If you want to, the best way to practice is I would write 10 sentences out with just one structure. Focus on one, master that structure, get it perfect, and then it's under your belt. It's in your bag of tricks to use in the exam. So just use one, practice one of them, use that the most, master it, and then move on to the next one. And the best way to practice is to get feedback. And you can get feedback for your IELTS essay at IELTSWritingTask.net, or you can also go to IELTS Podcast, and both of those services offer good IELTS essay correction. Also, use the uncommon words and use a variety, avoid repetition, and also review it. So that basically means just checking your work, leaving a few minutes at the end of each writing task just to check it, review it, look for mistakes that you've made previously, and this will help you to boost your score. So, thanks for watching. If you want any more help, any more advice, go to IELTSPodcast.com and you can sign up there for lots of IELTS materials. If you're in a bit more of a rush, go to sentenceguide.com, and that's probably one of the fastest ways to get the IELTS score you deserve. All the best, keep going, and thanks for watching.